Oh, hello. Welcome to today's Decay. We celebrate births and beginnings of everything important since the dawn of time. December 11th edition. And why not turn it up to 11 today? Let's. Today, in 1874, Paul Wegener was born. V's or W's, W's or V's. So, follow with me, shall you? Paul Wegener was a very early German filmmaker and actor. His family were not too into it because acting was like a lower profession. Much like Boris Karloff's family, the Pratts didn't appreciate Boris Karloff's success and career choices. Paul Wegener starred in The Student of Prague in like 1912, 1913, shot on location in Prague. It was a story written by Hans-Hein Evers, who was the Germany's answer to Edgar Allan Poe. They shot it on location, and it was actually made several times. 1912, 1913, 1926 with Conrad Veidt, and then again in the mid-30s as well. Never seen the mid-30s one. But it's all about a character who basically sells his soul to the devil for money to impress a lady. And the way they present it on screen is his mirror image jumps out of a mirror and is now like, a German doppelganger and runs around causing havoc and hurting people and killing people and causing, great, doing all sorts. And so the like good version has to like go correct the problems, or whatever. And so the whole like duality is interesting and will come into play later in his life. But meanwhile, while in Prague, he found out about the story of Rabbi Levi, who created a golem from clay and Kabbalistic practices in like maybe the 1600s of the Common Era, to defend the Jewish ghetto in Prague, and was so transfixed by it that he then got into not just in front of the camera, but also was the director for three Der Golem movies. One is the Golem and how he came into the world. One is the Golem and the ballerina. There's a third one too, and I forget which one that is. I feel like growing up, these were 2/3 of these were lost, and now they're not. Wild. Or at least segments of them still exist in some form or another. My grandfather actually saw the Golem at the Jewish theater in Lower East Side on like, what is that, 2nd Avenue and 12th Street, something like that, with Yiddish intertitles in like 1926 or something like that. To be a human fly on the wall. Yeah, and that's not all, because Paul Wegener was in like a ton of movies, most of which, unlike those, like I'll say recently found Golem movies, are still lost. But like this is this incredibly exhaustive and beautiful book on Paul Wegener. It's all in German, so I can't speak to it at all. But like, it's just like film still after film still. I know he was really into Tibetan culture and Eastern religions, and like you can see it all in here. It's like look at this set. Can you see this set? Yeah. I was gonna say, what is this movie? But everything's in German, so who the hell knows? Well, hold on. Let me find some more. Oh yeah. Great. He was also in The Magician. Rex Ingram was the director. Yeah, I don't know. Like, what are these sets? Like, how are you doing this? What is the like? And all this, I think, is lost. Although I guess I don't even know what they're called, right? So maybe they're not lost, but pretty damn sure. kind of fell out of favor later on in life. What else was he? Here's a couple of other ones. Alruna with Brigitte Helm from Metropolis. I think they actually did Alruna several times. That was also another Hans Heine Evers project about a soulless woman created from a homunculus, or mandrake root, rather. Yeah. Anyway, really fascinating. Oh, Strange Case of Captain Ramfair. That was also basically lost forever. And oddly, it then magically appeared on YouTube, although the last reel or the last couple of scenes are missing. Phantom Creep Theater did a live stage show screening the movie and then reenacting the last couple of scenes live on stage, as if the characters jumped off the screen and continued the story on their own in the flesh. It's an awesome story, all about, it's like mid to late 1920s produced, and he plays a pilot who goes down in the Arctic Circle, who winds up spending a long time on his own in this wasteland and like de-evolves into like a primitive human being in the process. And then some explorers find him and mistake him for like the missing evolutionary link between, like, you know, ancient hominids and you know, today's people, and so bring him back to Weimar era Germany to be displayed as like a carnival sideshow attraction in a circus, and he wants no part of it. So it's like almost like King Kong, but like at human scale, which is, you know, not as impressive, but it's before King Kong, so whatever. Yeah, by like 5 years. So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. But wait, there's more. Mila Nurmi, born today, 1922, star of stage and screen, devourer of human beings, Vampira herself. Yeah, and what am I going to show you about her today? These are some, I'll say, it's like works of art, but it's like her scribblings on various newspapers. Here's to tarantulas in your bedpan, darling. Hatefully, Vampira. So she's like drawing on the newspaper articles of herself, and in the back of it says, Vampira is alive and well and being ripped off. You can see that there. So she would like put things like this all around town in the 80s and 90s, like in Hollywood, I'm saying. Very much on purpose. Here's another one. So it's like photocopied, but then she like drew in crayons on top of it. Says, do you like it? I decorated myself, darling. It's early mausoleum. I predict that 25 years from now, people will be copying it. But if she's Groucho and Mae West, I, for one, would like to see her picture hat and her cigar. I think I screwed that up. I'm very, very, very sorry. God knows props can be a blessing when one's performance is lacking, or if one's material is orally something, but it's crossed off and says just sucks, if you can see that. Whoever could she be talking about, I wonder. I think there's more in the back. Let me double check. Oh, again. Vampira is alive and well and being ripped off. Yep. And then, so she did like a whole bunch of paintings and prints of herself in mostly probably the early 90s, but I'd say probably like around the time of Ed Wood, but throughout the 80s into the early 2000s perhaps. And so if you bought one of her illustrations, sometimes if you were lucky enough, she would give you a signed letter, and those letters go a little something like this. Allow me to thank you for your very generous and enthusiastic support of my artistic efforts. You are most kind. What do I think of the drawings? It's more how I feel. I lose myself in a delicious, infantile self-indulgence, like a toddler making mud pies. Sweet, dear little mud pies. For a bit of my heart is in each and every one of them. When the drawing is finished, I awake, and I am again an adult. Now, if by chance anyone should mistake these mud pies for real ones and eat them, I shall feel guilty. Best wishes, Milonermi Vampira. So, what a real piece of work. Artwork, that is. If you don't have Glamour Ghoul, written by her niece, you gotta buy Glamour Ghoul. And while I'm at it, look at this, Play Ghoul. Why, it's the book I made. Chronological collection of her appearances in pulp magazines from 1950 all the way to 1964. And you wind up getting a clear and concise autobiography, which was never the intention, and yet turned out to be just that. You can purchase it on my website, phantomcreep.com, if you dare. What else? What else? Big Mama Thornton, born today, 1926. You ain't nothing but a hound dog. Neither were the Velvet Underground, who played their first show today at New Jersey's Summit High School Auditorium in 1965. Was half thinking of trying to make the trek out to this high school, but it's freaking freezing out there, so it ain't happening. And it's far away. And like, is it necessary? Is any of this necessary? Negative. December 11th, whole day. From us to you. Till tomorrow.